Alright, Punch, Rothschild. Definitely a classic. I swear there wasn't anybody over here. I guess there's a golf course nearby. Alright, yeah, anyway, this is about a Robusto size, double cap. Definitely an oldie in the cigar world, as far as names go. Punch has been around for a very long time. Yes, thank you, Wind. Yeah, Punch is one of those classic cigar brands that everybody associates with, well, cigars in general. So this is their Rothschild size. Oh, come on. Let's get a little closer, shall we? Yeah, it never fails. I go to show off the cigar. What is it zooming on the dirt? Well, anyway, Punch is an oldie but a goodie. I've kind of got already a preconceived idea about what this is going to be like. So hopefully this lives up to expectations. Yeah, this is about a 4.5 by 50. Rothschild's kind of a little bit of an odd size. It's not quite a full Robusto. That said, these are always a classic and the ubiquitous cigar flavor, provided you don't end up screwing up a light. They're always known for good conduction. This one, good construction. Blah, 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 blah. This is one of the Honduran-made ones. These are also, I don't know if you can still hear me because of the wind, but yeah, Punch still operates factories in Cuba, and these are, the Cuban ones are some of the more counterfeited cigars that you can find. A lot of times you'll find something that looks really legit, but will have like a blurry band, because my camera does not know what to focus on. Well, anyway, when I get this cut and lit, see if I can avoid the tempest. Alright, so, light went pretty well. Straight out the gate. Subtle bitterness, light pepperiness to it, I guess. A little bit of a, I'm not quite sure what that taste is. Very subtly bitter, just right off the light, right from the get-go. Nice clean tobacco so far. Yeah, initial retro hail is kind of slightly bitter. It's a leathery tone. Classic cigar flavor. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let this go down to about an inch and see how it turns out from there. Good start so far. Alright, so about the first inch in, the first thing I notice is it is kind of spicy, which is definitely one of the characteristics of the Punch line. Normally I usually get like sweet spicy cedar off of it. So far I'm not really getting a whole lot of sweet off of this. It's more spicy, earthy, clean tobacco, kind of leathery. Very clean tobacco flavor though. Definitely not as sweet as I was thinking it was going to be. Now, excuse me. Now, I'm planning on doing another review of another version of this, because I actually got two of these. I got this one in the kind of natural wrapper. It's a natural style, so it's not like really dark. I've also got another one in a Maduro, which is a lot darker and should have a slightly different flavor profile. I want to say that there's a leathery note in this. Yeah, kind of woody, leathery. Definitely more of your savory cigar. So far I'm saying this would be pretty good for, hey, taking the range. Popping off a couple rounds, Have this with your buddies. Or, any time of day. Not necessarily sure I'd want this for like a dessert cigar, because it's definitely not turning out to be sweet, and I have a preference for sweet cigars. Yes, thank you, Wind. Blow a little harder. Also, it's kind of dry out, so if you hear the sound of crinkling leaves, that's why. Everything is falling off the trees. Hopefully, I won't be that old bat that keeps whining about how the smoke from my cigar is making it so she can't breathe. I mean, I kind of don't mean to grab on this, but it's twice now that this lady has bothered me, and if I See her a third time, I'm going to say something about it. Anyway, that's why I'm standing in the reeds instead of on top of a nice paved sidewalk. That it takes too long to get over to the nice field I was in. Anyway, I'm going to keep going on this, get back to you about the halfway point. I hope that's about here. I was thinking about these real shorties. They kind of go by real quick, so, you know, trying to figure out where the halfway is. It's kind of almost at the band, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I think I'm kind of almost halfway there. That's one of the things about these short cigars. It is real hard to tell where your overall distance is. Obviously, the ash has not flopped off yet, but be that as it may, I mean, it's kind of a short cigar, and it's going to be most of the cigar before the actual construction gets out, just due to the ash. You know, typical things when the ash falls off. But yeah, so far, I mean, these shorties will hold on to ash for almost the whole thing. So far, I'm getting a very serious, like, Tennessee whiskey vibe. Something kind of smoky, slightly woody. There's a little bit of cedar in the retrohale, which is nice. Very oddly refreshing, believe it or not. It's very light, very clean. I could definitely recommend having this as like a palate cleanser after a heavy meal, or, you know, smoke it with good whiskey, like maybe a Dickel 12 year or something like that. You know, Petty Van Winkle, something like that. Overall, though, you know, I mean, it's got that kind of whiskey smokiness, woodiness, char kind of note that makes most of your whiskeys so interesting. I mean, there's a lot that just, you know, it is an expertly crafted cigar, obviously, because it's punch, and they know what they're doing. They really do. If you're a whiskey drinker, this is definitely right up your alley. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and keep smoking this down until either A, the ash falls off, or B, I get to the band. I'm not really expecting a whole lot more out of this as far as like flavor transitions and such, just because of the fact that this is such a short cigar. So we'll see if anything alters from there. And that's kind of one of the things about punch that is kind of characteristic of the line. Is the fact that punch cigars tend to be kind of one note, but it's all a good note all the way through. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have a one note Charlie all the way through. It's a good note. Hey, roll with it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get back to you about the band. Alright, so the ash just fell off. Lasted about half, a little over of the actual cigar. And punch is one of those lines that makes excellently constructed cigars. So you'd have like a Toro or Churchill 6-7 inch size that would pretty much do the same thing. Hold on to the ash all the way to about the halfway point before finally making a mess with your pants. Beyond that, yeah, flavors have been basically no change. There's a subtle bitterness, a little woodiness, a little leather, a little bit of ashy kind of char flavor, you know, like a good charred oak barrel kind of thing. Like I said, it's an excellent whiskey cigar. Good palate cleanser for after a heavy meal. I'm not really expecting a whole lot else out of this. I'm going to smoke this up to, well, basically where I have to take the band off. And that's probably going to be my final update for this one, just because of the fact that this is so short. If you only have maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes, this would be right up your alley. Me personally, I like them a little longer than that, because, you know, it's something to do on a nice afternoon. Get out, enjoy the weather, you know. As long as it's not blowing holy hell. Anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and get back to you as soon as it's officially at the band. Alright, so band's come off. It's kind of getting to the point where the flavors are starting to wash out a little bit, so I'm going to finish up this review here. So far, started off a little spicy, a little leathery, kind of mellowed out a little bit, got a little clean, a little woody, a little earthy, subtle bitterness like a nice ale, which kind of speaks to exactly what kind of things you'd probably want to drink with this. Something like a nice Scotch whiskey, American bourbon, you know, mesh with the flavors, or offset with something sweet like maybe a cream sherry or something like that. Or me personally, I'm a fan of like sweet ports. Oddly enough, I think neat would be a good choice with this. It's light, crisp, clean, refreshing. Definitely a good cigar any time of day, but I'd probably end up suggesting you have this after like a heavy meal, you know, something with like a lot of meat or a lot of fried stuff or something like that. Something that's going to be particularly heavy, because this will be an excellent palate cleanser. And yeah, smoke one of these off with a nightcap, boom, you're good to go. Yeah, definitely this in an old fashioned, you'd be passed out in like an hour. Yeah, so far flavors have been kind of one-dimensional. I mean, it had one transition after about an inch, but other than that, I mean, for such a short cigar, that's really about all you can expect. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. I mean, I like a little bit more variety in a cigar, but for a shorty like this, totally understandable, totally okay. Good cigar, definitely welcome to any party. Yeah, definitely worth the price. So far, what I know about this actual line here, this is the Rothschild, and it's kind of just a bigger version of the London Club. Originally made in the early 1900s for the British market, so it kind of caters to a little more Britishy taste. So heavy foods, you know, a lot of meat, a lot of sherries and whiskeys and such. A lot of ales. It would be very good with a nice ale, bitter ale. Or maybe something a little sweeter, just because there's a little bit of bitterness in the cigar. Not offensively so, or anything like a bad bitterness, just enough to make you know that it's not sweet. The one that I had previous to this was actually a sweet spicy cedar, which was actually torpedo shaped, and I forgot what the actual brand, the actual line was, but it was definitely a different cigar from this. That kind of shows you just how good they are at their blends. They look totally the same from the outside, but the flavor profile is totally different. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Punch Rothschild. It's going to be part 2 in about a week or so. That's going to be the Rothschild Maduro. We'll see how the wrapper actually changes the flavor. Until then, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you like this video or any other video, go ahead, like, favorite, subscribe. And I was going to suggest something else, but it just kind of completely flew out of my head. I have no idea what I was going to say. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Keep smoking. I'll see you next time.